Tools in the truck, tools in the bus, and tools in the motorcycle. Trying to remember where things are. There we go. Goop it on there. Nice. Right on my shirt. There's super fast drying stuff. I'm not brave enough to buy that. Don't be chintzy with this, just go ahead and put it on. Maybe it's a test question to see if you took the time to read the instructions. Okay, push it on there, good. This is not high pressure. Good.
Hello and welcome to, Carlin's Worlds. Yeah, that should work. I'm a wanderer, a tinkerer, sometimes a nomad, a military veteran. I do things differently. There will be tinkering. I have a motorcycle, a truck, and a school bus. I live off-grid, so there will be some solar, batteries, inverters, and maybe even some wind. It blows. And that's all I can fit into about 30 seconds. Oh, and please, if you like any of this, it would be really awesome if you could subscribe and click that notify bell. Drop a comment if you have any questions or ideas. Share, like, comment, subscribe, notify. Oh, and Patreon if you're really an awesome kind of person. Cool. On with the show already.
I don't think I've got clouds coming in so much as all of the moisture that was in the ground is coming out and recondensing again, because these things, it's more like they just popped up everywhere. Still a lot of blue sky. Anyway, just in case, I'm going to be really bummed if it rains and all my tanks are already full. The sump pump that I have has an 1.25 inch fitting, and then they had an adapter down to garden hose size. So I bought this, which is an 1.25 inch up to 2 inch fitting. This will screw on to here, and then I can glue this to a 2 inch pipe, which I've got a bunch of 2 inch pipe and fittings. From that, I've got 2 inch flexible hose. This is a 25-foot piece, and I've got 2 of these. On the end of the hose that I cut, I do have a barbed fitting that I can use. And then hose clamp on there, and then we're good to go. And this is going to be the fun part for today. It's basically a firefighting nozzle. It was sitting next to all this other stuff when I was shopping that day, and I just couldn't resist. You know, you got to get one of those. So I don't know that the sump pump will put on enough pressure to actually spray water out of here. I just wanted to play with it to see. I'm going to go 3 feet. That's a nice even number. Plus the sump pump will stick it up a little bit, so I'll just have an elbow coming off that my flex hose can connect to. And that'll be that. So let's go 3 feet. Alright, 3 feet. Let's chop this off. Try to make this nice square cut. Not super perfect, but should be pretty close. Not my best work, but that'll work. I think mostly this is just to make it easier to put it together. We use purple primer. Color probably isn't super important, but God, do it. Seriously. Tools in the truck, tools in the bus, and tools in the motorcycle. Trying to remember where things are. There we go. Oh, I know it was hot the last time I used these probably, so everything shrunk down. Okay, primer first. This coupling I actually primed once already, so we'll just prime it again. Somewhere I've got short couplings and long couplings, but this is for what we're doing here. This will be fine. Goop it on there. Nice. Right on my shirt. Can't have nice things anymore. I think these pants have purple on from the last time I did this. Primer kind of helps clean and prepare the surface so that the glue will stick better. Okay, primed everything. And the cement. Just use cement on one half for now of the coupling. There's super fast drying stuff. I'm not brave enough to buy that. And I don't know why, but this, when you first push it on, it actually tries to push off. I always thought it had air pressure buildup, but this is an open pipe. I'm not sure what that is caused by. I do think that the primer softens the plastic a little bit, so maybe that's a chemical thing, I don't know. Okay, I'll prime this one, and this goes inside the coupling. Don't be chintzy with this, just go ahead and put it on. Somewhere in the instructions they talk about you put the primer first on one part and then you put the cement first on the opposite part. I don't know why, but alternated a little bit. I don't know that it makes a lot of difference, but maybe it's a test question to see if you took the time to read the instructions. Push it on there, good. This is not high pressure. Good. Okay, this is called a street elbow, and what it is, it's got basically female side on one end and male on the other side. So you could take two elbows and put them both together, right? What I'm going to do, this end will go on the pipe, and this is a threaded piece that'll match my flex hose here on the opposite end. So now I'm going to put this on here, doesn't matter which direction it faces, and then we'll put the threaded piece on the end of that. Okay, glue is on. In this case, it totally doesn't matter what direction I faced, but when I was making the manifold, I decided to make it a point of looking to see where the red lettering is, and I always set that straight up. And then whenever I put a fitting on, I made the fitting match that. That kept everything pretty straight. That gave me a chance at least. So this will go on there. It's also a smart idea to test fit something before you stick it on. Keeps you from doing something stupid. There's plenty of things I'll do stupidly anyway, but you get the idea. Somewhere I saw a little tray, like a tool tray, and I think it actually had specific places to put your primer and your cement, which would keep you from knocking it over. I mean, you'd have to knock the whole tray over then, I guess. That looked like a really nice idea. Okay, and this doesn't matter at all, so let's just get it on there. Good. These are mostly dry already, and my finger is purple. Excellent. Now my pants are purple. One of the things I like about this setup here is one time when I was shopping, I picked up these threaded fittings. Okay, so I've got male, male, and I've also got a female, female somewhere. So I can just take this, and since everything is I'm trying to standardize on a couple common sizes, so I got 2-inch. I can thread that on here, thread another piece onto the end of it. This I could thread back on and then glue a piece onto that, right? This could be all kinds of usefulness here. Don't need that for today, but down the line, something I'm looking at is getting pool filters. And I'm thinking I could pump water into a sediment tank. Like for instance, there's a whole bunch of big puddles right now that I could walk around, pump water into a few tanks, and then just let the dirt settle out. And then a few days later, most of the silt's at the bottom, the water on top is relatively clear, I could put the sump pump on a stilt so it didn't go all the way to the bottom, pump a bunch of free water into another tank, let it settle out some more for a few days, maybe throw some bleach in there, and then run that through a pool filter. And that could be something as simple as that sand filter I was experimenting with earlier. And then through a sediment filter like the one I bought, and we'd have relatively clean water. Dump a little bit of bleach in there. That's great for showers and laundry. That's most of the water I use. I drink a little bit of water, and the rest of it is, washing dishes, washing clothes, washing me. Okay. So as much of the free water as you can take advantage of. Well, in the meantime, I don't have enough roof area to catch large quantities of water. I maybe I caught 200 gallons last night. That's a lot of water, actually. But it's not thousands of gallons. You can burn through a lot of water here. I just heard that this weekend, this winter, we might have an El Nino or El Ni. I always get those two confused. It's supposed to be a really wet winter compared to last year, so we may see snow and a lot more rain this year. So now I'm looking at how can I best catch lots and lots of water. So I thought I was done with the rain for this year. Surprise! A bit of coffee, just to keep it real. Okay, this is a barb fitting. It's a pretty loose fit, not ideal, but I think it'll work. Oh, is this even big enough? That might be. Put the hose clamp on there first. I saw somebody do this one time. Figure out where the end of the fitting is. Make a little mark, that way you don't end up with your hose clamp right on the very edge. It'll seal better if it's got something to hang on to. If it's out here, it doesn't do any good. I talk about this every now and then. If you see one of these, get it. Double-ended, each end has, like this end's got the small Phillips and straight. This end's got the big Phillips and straight. Normally, if you're doing hose clamps, you'd be like, okay, put your screwdriver in there, right? Well, on this screwdriver, this becomes a nut driver. That fits a lot better. It's easier to deal with. So now instead of trying to keep your screwdriver in there, you just turn it. Life is easy. That's probably not going to be a great seal, but since I'm dealing with 200 gallons of free water today, if I spill a little bit, I'm not going to sweat it too much. I'm going to screw this onto here. We're going to start the generator so I can run my pump. I can actually run it off of the inverter, but my battery's a little low because we had a lot of clouds yesterday. So I'm going to put the battery charger on and run my cord, and then we'll be set. Leave this back at a safe distance, right? I could have made that vertical pipe a whole lot shorter. I was thinking 3 feet, but the pump itself was almost a foot, so it's about a foot taller than it needs to be. Oh well. I want to be careful with this so I don't hit the pipe and knock it, break it off, because it's exactly that, right? Don't do that. I've got a bungee hooked up so I don't hit the bottom. I don't want to be pulling water right off the bottom if I can help it. It may or may not cooperate. So this is the one that I put the hose clamp one on. We'll connect it on this end, so I'm going to stretch the hose out first. The hose is considered a discharge hose. You would use it outlet of the pump. And then the green hose that I've used to connect to my truck tank, it's a suction hose. So if you had a proper pump, you'd throw one end into the pond to suck water out to fill your tank. Between the pond and the pump, you'd use the green hose because it doesn't collapse. This collapses flat, but water going through it will blow it up and it'll be fine. The problem is if this kinks, you can't get it to really get the water to flow. Okay, first problem, I don't have a swivel on here. That'll be something to think about for later. The other end of the hose has the swivel. In fact, the hose I cut off, or the end of the cut off, it had the swivel. So I got to figure out where that is. I could probably reuse that. So now I'm going to try to get the hose to lay flat and go in the direction I'm going. We'll put our nozzle on the other end so we can have some fun. Oh, I hope this is long enough. Yeah, I think we'll be okay on this side. The other side will be about the same, so that's maybe enough. Okay, this one's got the swivel. I was talking about the swivel. More or less in a straight line. Yeah, I'm getting enough. When I started setting up my water manifold system out here, I really tried to get everything about the same size. So everything is 2 inches. That just makes life easier. You start trying to adapt things and it gets complicated then. I've already got power on that cord, so when I plug it in, we should start pumping water. Going. Lots of kinks, but it's working. That's an issue I was expecting. I don't have enough pressure to knock the kink out of the hose. It is working though. Probably 20 feet in the air. And considering I don't got full flow, that's not bad at all. Alright, even with the kinks, that first 30 gallons is already done. That's working pretty good. Nice warm day to play with the water, right? Definitely didn't want to do this on a cold day. Yeah, if I tried a little harder to get the kinks out of here, I'd be a lot better off. That one's almost done. What I'm trying not to do is get the sludge off the bottom. Oops, I'm spilling. This definitely success though. I could do a side by side, but I think before it took me 5 or 6 minutes with a garden hose to drain a trash can. This seems faster. And I'm not even at capacity really because I can't keep that hose from kinking. But I'm still getting really good flow. It's good enough. I'm not going to worry about improving it for now, that's for sure. I don't have a filter yet between my pump and the bus. So I'd like to pre-filter it before it runs through, before it runs through the pump, basically, into the bus, but that's coming. This was like at 1.5 from the bottom. So you figure ground 1.5. We're now at 3.5 right there. I might be able to fill that up. That's pretty cool. I gotta figure out, I think I'm gonna just dump some bleach in there to help kill the algae, because we're getting, since I'm putting rainwater in, there's no chlorine to kill the algae. And I'm torn on this, if sun would kill the algae or if sun is causing the algae to grow. I haven't figured that out yet. I should look into that. I don't think I want to use that for fighting fires, but it's good for spraying water. Alright, that's about the end of it. I'm leaving a little bit in the can so I can still use them for laundry later. Yeah, and to think I was going to go get some water today. I don't have to. Awesome.
Well, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, that should work. Cool. I do things differently. Oh, and please, if you like any of this, it would be really awesome if you could subscribe and click that notify bell. Drop a comment if you have any questions or ideas. Share, like, comment, subscribe, notify. Oh, and Patreon if you're really an awesome kind of person. Thank you so much for watching.